Welcome back from that quick break. It's now time for us to key into discuss segment, and today we're looking at first aid and emergency tips we need to arm ourselves with in this festive period. And we've got Dr. Jennifer Brimer in the studios to take us through the do's and don'ts in order to be sure that we're well protected during the celebration period. Good morning, nice to have you in the studio.
Good morning.
You're
good
looking
morning.
Christmas already.
I know, I'm looking Christmassy. And the antlers up there is to get, our audience's attention so that they can listen closely to what we have to, tell them today,
All right,
That's
so put in some spice to it.
Yes, yes.
All right, what for you, what would be the top first aid tips parents, family members should have in order to be sure they can respond quickly to any emergency before going to the hospital?
The number one on my list, because the festive period is a lot of eating, a lot of dancing, a lot of drinking. A lot of people do not know what control is. They do not know what moderation is. And for some people, they want to use the Christmas period to sample a lot of things that they have never eaten. So my number one first aid tip is make sure in your household you have ORS sachet, or you know how to make the salt sugar solution.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Because when you imbibe or you eat what you have never eaten before, the first thing the body does is to reject it by vomiting and passing stools. Yes. And so you're going to have a situation where you're stooling and you're vomiting.
Okay.
And to prevent dehydration, organ failure, and death, you need to start immediately rehydrating that person, whether it's an adult or a child. And the rehydration is not just with plain water. It has to be the oral rehydration salt that is packaged and sold very nicely in stores, even in supermarkets as well as pharmacies. They sell them for like $200, and it comes with a 10-tablet sachet of zinc tablets. That is the way you treat rehydration now. Otherwise, you go to your homes, you wash a nice bottle or a nice jug. Wash your hands properly, boil water, leave it to cool down. Use 6 teaspoons of granulated sugar. Level 6 teaspoons. Level it, and then the same teaspoon, half of it of salt. Level. And then you put the solvent in solution. That is the water. Remember now, the water has to be parboiled and cooled, or if you have bottled water, that will do because it's already treated. Even our sachet water, they all have NAFDAC number. We just hope that they are treated too. Now, the trick now is you must use 1 liter of water to make that salt sugar solution. And now, for some people who do not know what 1 liter is, our regular sachet, the pure water sachet that is sell for ₦5, is about 50 mils. 2 of it make 1 liter. And then you already have the 50 ml bottles of bottled water. You have all the different brands you have out there. 2 of it. Otherwise, look at my lovely teacup here. This is about 200 mils. So 5 of these will constitute 1 liter. So we have given you all the tips. So you make your salt sugar solution, keep it handy just in case somebody starts throwing up, because you do not want somebody who's dehydrated, who's going into shock, who's having organ failure around at home when you can prevent it. Now, what is the next thing? People are eating and they choke. They suddenly cannot breathe. What do? There's a simple maneuver that is called the Heimlich maneuver. Heimlich maneuver. So you go behind the person, you put your hand right there, and you push. You grab from the back, and you just push, and whatever is choking the person pops out, and the person breathes.
The person has to leave the mouth open.
Oh, you tell the person, open your mouth. The person will not even have a choice. Because when that thing is popping out, it just pops out. You can't push it back in. And so the person stops choking, and you see the color will return back to the person's face and all of that, and the person is saved. Now, for people who drink and get drunk and fall down unconscious, what do you do for that person? You go to the person, make sure the person is breathing, put your hand there, because not a lot of people know any other thing to do. So you put your hand there to make sure that warm air is coming out. You can put your ear on the chest to make sure that you can hear a sound, or you can see the movement, up and down movement. You can put your hand right there to feel the carotid pulse. You can do the same thing for right there to feel the pulse right there. Then you put the person on the left lateral position. Why are you doing that?
The left.
Left lateral position. It's called the prone position, left lateral. Why are you doing that? You want to make sure if the peradventure, you know when people drink a lot, they throw up. Peradventure the person vomits or throws up. He doesn't choke on his vomitus and he doesn't die from choking. So you put the person in the left lateral position and take the head a bit up there like that. Now, what also happens during this festive period? Fireworks. What do we call it now? Knockouts. Knockouts. Yes, that's what it's called, knockouts. So you have to be careful. In advanced countries, sometimes when you buy knockouts, fireworks, they give you protective goggles. But here nobody cares about that. You just want to do the thing and see the fire go off and all of that. Now, a lot of times when the debris come down, they cause burns, wherever they touch on the bodies. So what do you do when that happens? A lot of people don't know what to do. Now, when you are involved in any kind of fire, the first thing you are asked to do is to roll.
To roll? To
roll on the ground.
On the ground.
You roll to make sure you put the fire out.
Okay.
So you roll on the ground, and then if you can pick yourself up, you pick yourself up and put your hand, peradventure is your hand that got burnt, put your hand under running water. Under running water. What does that do? That immediately extinguishes the fire and reduces the spread of the flame. So the next thing you do, you look for any lubricants, oil-based lubricants, especially the very popular one that we use during this period.
Vaseline?
The Vaseline. You grab as much as you can and just rub on that burn and then go to the hospital for further treatment. Because aside from treating the burn, the doctor is going to do some other things for you, like give you a tetanus shot and all of that. All
right, from what you said, starting from the ORS, how often should the person take it after? Does it
every time you vomit or you stool. You take, depending if it's an adult, if it's a child, depending on the quantity that is being lost, between 50 mils to 100, depending on the age of the child. And remember, you need to start it and then go to the hospital. Don't start it and stay at home. Because you want to minimize organ failure. You want to stop the person from going into shock. So you start it at home and then you go to the hospital.
What are the ideal contents of a first aid kit?
We're coming to that. I brought the audience a little something. Oh, look at that!
Before you get there, I actually wanted to just confirm. Yes. If someone was choking, you apply that
pressure, the Heimlich maneuver,
and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah. You need to run as fast as you can to the hospital because in no time at all, you have the airways is being compromised. The person is not breathing. You can already see the person turning black, turning blue, turning ash. So if the person is not responding and you do not know how to do the maneuver, that means you need to get somebody else who can do the maneuver, or you leave everything you're doing and just take the person straight, quickly to the hospital. Just keep talking to the person, encouraging the person to breathe. Open your mouth to breathe with your mouth. Breathe with your mouth, breathe with your mouth, and then get to the hospital, they'll do it.
And the final one, talking about those who get drunk and fall, and you said put them on the left
lateral position, yes.
And you check if they're breathing. Yes. If you check and you don't seem to get a sign
that they are breathing, and you check the pulse, nothing's happening.
What should be the next?
You need to go to the hospital. The closest hospital to you. Because the person, you may not have been able to detect the pulse, but the stethoscope may detect one. And so that means the person is just deeply unconscious and not dead. And when you get to the hospital, the professionals will know what to do. They'll take it up from there. And now remember, before we go to the contents of the first aid kits, remember that during this festive period, a lot of people are tying up presents, they're hanging up, Christmas trees, they're falling from ladders. So when you fall from a ladder, what do? Most times when you fall from a ladder, you do not sustain any long-lasting injuries. You may just have a sprain or a strain or something. Now, what do you do for that person? If it's on the ankle or wherever it is that the sprain happens, just grab ice, put the ice in a towel or in a handkerchief, and hold it, where the person is telling you they feel the sprain. What are you trying to do? You're trying to minimize swelling. Trying to minimize swelling, because when you minimize the swelling, the chances of that sprain getting worse is reduced. Now, when you're also hanging your Christmas trees and cutting ribbons and doing that, a lot of people sustain nicks and pricks and bruises. That is where the first aid kit comes in. Look at this cute little first aid kit. Isn't it cute? They have about this can fit into anybody's pack, even your purse, your pocket. Now, what does it contain? It contains wipes. Of course, your hands must be clean. It contains the methylated spirit swab, the one that has the methylated spirit that can kill germs. It has a gauze, like you can use it to hold a sprained hand or something. It has plaster. That is where where you have the nicks and the bruises, that is where the plaster comes in. So if you have cut yourself, probably trying to cut, the wrapping sheet or hanging one of those things on the Christmas trees, you get the dry gauze, which is a cotton wool. It has cotton wool too. You just clean. You get the wet one that has the methylated spirit. You clean, and then you use your Band-Aid. It has Band-Aids in there too, and you just seal the wound. Why do you seal the wound? You want to seal the wound to keep it clean and free of infection, and that way it starts to heal. Of course, you're going to be handling food also, so you need to make sure that you do not contaminate the food. All right, now she asked me what are the contents of a first aid kit. We have just we reel them out. You have the plaster, the gauze, the methylated spirit swab, the dry swab, the Band-Aid. For a bigger one, you have much more stuff in there. You have the scissors in there, you have the scalpel in there, you have, sometimes you even have the ORS solution in there, ORS sachet in there with the zinc tablets, paracetamol in there to bring the temperature down. You also have what they call the drip, the drip, in there, and infusion, salt, sugar, sodium chloride infusion, glucose for people who are diabetic, who probably suddenly go into, hypoglycemic shock. You give them some of the 50% dextrose to get them to wake up and then take them to the hospital. So that's basically some of the things you have in your first aid kit.
Okay. Now, let's talk about in the case of food poisoning.
Yes.
Because we can't rule that out.
Oh, yes.
What's the quick go-to?
That's actually the first thing we talked about on this segment.
For food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Remember, food poisoning and allergy to food. We're not talking about the allergy that makes you swell up and then start having difficulty to breathe, or you're having an anaphylactic shock. We're talking about the immediate food poisoning
after eating something.
Yes, diarrhea and
That's
vomiting.
The salt and water.
That's the salt and water solution. That is the anecdote to that, or the antidote to that.
All right, for kids, what should parents be wary of when kids play in the playground? What should be there and what shouldn't be there?
Okay, during Christmas, parents normally fulfill a lot of promises that they've made. They buy them bikes, they buy them scooters, they buy them, what's this other one that everybody's crazy about? You sit on it and it takes you round and back and forth, and airlines are telling you, don't bring them on our flights. We don't want them
like
here.
A pony?
Okay. No, not a pony. It's this thing that they had it in one of these videos with one of our celebrities. You sit on it and it takes you back and forth. Okay. Hoverboard.
Hoverboard.
That's what I'm trying to remember, the hoverboard. Okay, kids fall a lot on these new devices. So one of the things that parents have to look out for is the bruises, is the sprain, is the outright fracture, is the I hit my head, mommy, I fell down, and all of that.
Yeah, and now, probably there's no bleeding, but it keeps saying pain.
Pain.
What should be the best?
You have to be very, very, very careful and suspicious, because kids know that Christmas time is a festive time. You don't want to go and bother mommy that, oh, mommy, I've hurt myself and all of that. So you need to watch your kids, because kids will be kids. Whatever you do, they are going to run around, they're going to play, they're going to hurt themselves, they're going to come back to mommy to fix them up. So if your kid tells you, I fell down, take a minute and check to be sure that nothing is broken, nothing is sitting down there and getting worse. And then let the kids stay out of the kitchen, because a lot of frying is going to be going on, a lot of oil popping out there, so you do not want any kind of accidents in the kitchen. A lot of people are going to be boiling water to kill their live chicken, to boil the rice and do all sorts of things. Kids, stay out of the kitchen.
So if there's a fire burn, or hot oil,
the same thing. Put your hand under running water quickly. Get a lubricant on it, and then next step.
There's no running water. Can you just pour
any water? The colder the better. You can even grab the bottle from the fridge and just pour on it. Reduce the spread.
Or you can put ice on it.
Ice is not the easiest. Ice is not the go-to thing to do. Ice is not the go-to thing. The ice is for sprains and broken, limbs. But for burns, water. The colder the better, actually. Yes.
Can we look at some of the safety measures that we're supposed to look out for during food preparation to avoid instances of food poisoning?
Oh yes, I love that question. Why do I love that question? Because this is a period of eating until you quench. So people don't even care how it was, prepared. Yes. So what is the first thing that we look out for? If you're going to a restaurant to eat, look out for fruit flies.
Fruit flies.
If you see them flapping about, flying about, you know that the hygiene there is poor. Because fruit flies go after rotten fruits or stale dustbin that they were not thrown out. So if you have fruit flies, that means the hygiene in the kitchen is poor. That means you may have rodents out there, and you know what rodents do? They poop, they pee, they cause Lassa fever, disease, and all of that. Even the roaches and all of that. Now, for you at home, when you're preparing your food, make sure you do not have a runny nose. If you have a cold, maybe someone should take over the cooking. If someone cannot take over the
so
cooking,
you don't bless the food.
if someone cannot take over the cooking, maybe you put a face mask.
Okay.
Treat yourself, because we have all these over-the-counter cold medications that people prefer to take rather than go to the hospital, and they actually work. They're effective.
Okay.
2-3 days, you're done. Okay.
Right.
Now make sure that you do the first things first. Wash your hands very clean.
Okay.
Make sure that all your preparatory surfaces are clean. We have all this
Okay.
beautiful anti-disinfectant stuff that they use to wipe the surfaces, or just soap and water. Clean the surfaces. Now, before you make any kind of food, you have the preparatory stage. We call it the prep stage, and then start to mix everything together.
All right.
The number one tip I'm going to give people out there is keep it clean. Wash.
Wash. Okay.
Of course, when you want to do your vegetable salad, you must wash. A lot of times when you're even picking out your lettuces and your cabbage, you see worms in there. You see worms. Worms love these vegetables, but we don't want the worms in our vegetables. So we have to clean, strip off the parts that you found the worm, or throw that one out completely, and then just make sure that every other thing is just neat and clean. The ones that you need to wash with soap, with salt, do that. The ones that you need to wash with warm water or hot water, you do that. The bottom line is you do not want to cause any inadvertent food poisoning with E. coli and salmonella.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Would there be other things you think parents should take note of, which is outside the health areas per se? But,
Oh yes. It's still going to be health. It's drinking. If you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to go out as a group, designate someone as the driver. Especially, not everybody drink,
Yes.
You may have 10 friends, and out of those 10 friends, 2 do not drink. And so if 2 do not drink, 5 people can fit in a car. So go with 2 cars. The person who's not supposed to drink will drive. So please do not drink and drive. You want to see 2018.
Definitely.
Yes.
Let's not allow the celebrations to overwhelm.
Yes, don't allow the celebrations to overwhelm you. Tomorrow is coming. You have bills to pay in January. So please be safe and be careful,
All right. Let's just look a little bit of taking medications like drugs, and how wary should we be in terms of the kind of drugs or medications taken? Let's say before you get to the hospital, some would say, okay, just take Panadol to ease the pain, or what kind of medications should we take, and what should we prevent?
Yeah. The thing is, when you fall from a ladder while you're fixing the tree, a lot of people you're fixing your Christmas tree, a lot of people just stand up and dust themselves. There's nothing wrong with them. If you're going to take any kind of medication, make sure that you're not allergic to that medication in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Because that is the number one killer of people. Allergies. Know yourself. A lot of people do not know what they're allergic to and what they're not allergic to. And we almost forgot to mention that in as much as this is a festive period and people are, sampling all sorts of things, be careful. Be careful. Especially when you want to sample things from the sea, like what do you call them? Crabs and snails and shrimps and all of that. A lot of people are allergic, but they do not know. So even nuts, be careful. If you have not eaten something before and you want to think this is the best time, please don't try it, because statistics.
Even if it's free.
Even if it's free, please.
It looks yummy.
Yes, because the statistics says that almost over 100,000 people between 25th and 26th go to the hospital, present at the emergency room for one thing or the other. Okay, now take for example something we have to be careful about. You just mentioned it. You're opening a champagne bottle or a wine bottle, and you're not careful. You're not even paying attention. You're talking to someone and looking that way. The cork pops up and jumps into your eyes, into your eyes or someone else's eyes. So these are the kind of things we have to be careful about. Believe it or not, these are some of the emergency cases that are seen in the hospital. On Christmas Day, people just rush someone. We were just trying to open the champagne bottle and the cork popped into his eyes, and that eye is gone.
But let's look at little instruments that line across the houses. Kids poking their ears.
Oh my goodness.
How careful, and if there's a break of a stick in the ear, what should be the best measures?
Now, if you do not know what to do, if your kid has put a bead, these beads because this is the bead period for kids. The mothers take them to the salons and they fix their hair and they look like Christmas trees themselves. They look like me, kind of, with my antlers here. They have all the colors of the rainbow on their hair. And these kids are fiddling with this thing. And the next thing the child thinks is like maybe candy, and it's so beautiful. And they put it in their mouth and they start choking, or they stick it in their nose, or they stick it in their ear. What do you do? If you do not know what to do, look for someone who can help you. It's a very simple maneuver. Like I've had the privilege of working with kids who stock things in their nose and their mouth. It's actually easy. We have this little thing, like it's almost as small as this. It's called a diagnostic set. It's got cute little instruments in there for such an emergency. So you just pick one, like a forceps, just put it in there and pull it out. The child will not even know what's going on. The same thing with the ear. You use the otoscope, you look at it, check the position where it is, and you just bring it out. So, but if you do not know what to do, it's not a life-threatening situation per se,
even
especially
something
when it's in the ear. But if it's in the nose, it's going to compromise the breathing. But luckily, there's the other nostril to breathe from. So by the time you take the child from the house to the hospital, the child will still be okay. So don't go poking in there if you don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, don't go poking in because you may make it worse. Just go to the nearest hospital; they will help you out.
Sorry. Yeah.
In case of choking now, in the case of where someone takes in bone, is it the same?
The Heimlich maneuver.
Yes.
Well,
it's the same thing for bone. Because
see, the bone thing now is the bone may be stuck around the tonsillar area.
Okay.
The throat going down. So it may not be the same thing because the bone, remember it's got a sharp edge, so it gets stuck in the tissue, the mucosal tissue down there. But the Heimlich maneuver is something like, I don't know if you remember the story of Sleeping Beauty, where she ate an apple and the thing got stuck in her throat. And then when she fell, when the dwarfs were trying to carry her, the thing popped out. It's just the same thing. The bone is a different matter altogether. The bone gets stuck. A lot of times what we have been taught to do when we're growing up is to go and get EBA.
Yes. I wanted to say, is that the best way to get EBA?
No, it actually works,
Okay.
Get EBA. Bigger than the...
Does the soup determine if it's going to work? If it's a draw soup,
well,
it's going to slide through.
We just want that lump there. We want the lump to dislodge it from the mucous membrane. Because, the bone just sticks to whatever comes, by it or passes through it. So when you get the big EBA, this is just an old wife's tale, but it works. Okay. Get a big EBA and swallow, or take a lot of water and see if you can push it down. Because when the moment it gets into the stomach, the gastric juices will take effect and will just dissolve it, and the body takes over. Otherwise, now if all of that does not work, I've seen a child who swallowed bone. That child died. The child died after 3 surgeries to remove the bone.
Wow.
He became septic, he became infected, and the child died. So I'm glad you brought up this topic because it's not something that we joke about. Now, because of my experience with that child, I've been so fearful with bone and fish whenever I make something for my kids to eat.
So parents should be careful about the
very,
kind of fish they
if it's
cook
possible
this
for you
Christmas.
to dismantle the fish and remove every
Single
bone, every single bone, do it. If it's not possible, don't even put fish in there.
All right, very, very,
Don't even
very
put fish.
key,
It's very
key
scary.
warning.
This poor child died. After 3 surgeries, he still died. Trying to fish that bone out.
All right, for the ladies, before we let you go, the hair thing when they're cooking and their hair is still flying.
That is a no-no. That is a no-no. That is part of...
Because
Not if you don't even, because we want to look beautiful even when we're we want to look beautiful even when we are cooking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just get what do we call them now? Our hair packer, our hair bubble. Just pull it to the side. You still look chic. You still look beautiful. Pull it, because are you going to keep doing like that? Okay. You're baking and your hand is in that.
It's not
dough.
comfortable.
It's not comfortable. Your neck is even going to start hurting after a while. So just pack it behind or put it in a hairnet. Although somebody said hairnets should be burned, that they look terrible.
Yes.
They look terrible. Just pack the hair and still look beautiful. When you're done, you can let the hair flow, okay? Yeah.
All right, I think that's all we can take, except for the cars using seat belts and
Oh,
other
yes, that is a
issues.
must. Use your seat belts. Don't drink and drive. Maintain a certain limit of driving, especially if it has been said that don't go beyond 50 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour. Please obey.
All right. We just wanted to put this in for medical centers where when there's an accident you bring and they're saying bring police report, or what could the medical personnel
For me, I do not
area?
ask for police reports when I'm treating an accident victim. I treat you. I see if I can save that life. Police report can come after. So for my colleagues out there who are on call, who are on duty from now till the end of the year, please, when you see an emergency like that, don't waste somebody's valuable time looking for police report. Somebody else can handle police report. Take care of that life. Police report can come later.
All right.
Now, but before we go right now, I want to say something to a lot of people that may not have had a good 2017. Dust yourself up. Stand up. 2018 is around the corner. And remember what the good book says. When a door closes, or an idiom or a proverb, maybe not a good book, when a door closes, numerous windows will open. So don't wallow in depression, don't wallow in self-pity. 2018 is going to be a bumper year for you. And now this is a thank you to a special person who is giving me a shoulder to lean on and shown me love and support. You know who you are. Thank you, M.
And Merry Christmas to them, please.
Oh, Merry Christmas! Forgive me. Merry Christmas, and have yourself a fantastic, fantastic festive period. But be safe. Okay? Be safe. Thank you, M.
All right, this is what we do on Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. Bring the finest, best minds in the continent, anywhere in the world, just to ensure that your day is awesome. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Jennifer Brimer. She's been awesome all through 2017, and indeed, we're keeping her for 2018 and more. And so we're wishing you Merry Christmas, and we're saying thank you
Merry
for
Christmas.
being here. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone for being part of it. We'll be going for a quick break. When we come back, more goodies just for you.
Yes.